I'm fixing to tell y'all my skin secret. Jojoba plant, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to read to you some of the benefits of the jojoba plant. And the oil is extracted from the jojoba plant nut. And you've seen in that picture what that nut looks like. I'm going to put my glasses on. And everywhere that I tried to see it, there was a glare on my glasses. It didn't matter where I sit around here, there was a glare in it. So y'all just look over the glare. And plus I'm looking in my computer. So anyways, we want to talk about what is jojoba oil. The jojoba plant is a hardy perennial plant that grows in North America. Not only does it thrive in the harsh desert climates that could kill most living things, but it also produces a nut with many healing properties. The nut of the jojoba plant can be made into an oil. Jojoba oil is gentle enough to be used as a carrier oil that you can mix with other essential oils, or it can be used on its own. And I use it both ways. Many people use jojoba oil as part of their skin care routine. And that's what I do. And the reason that I started just using plain jojoba oil by itself and not mixed with other kinds of oils and stuff is because every skin routine that I done, everything that I used, it had this jojoba oil in it. So I thought, I'm just going to find me some good jojoba oil and I'm going to use it by itself. And that's what I've been doing. Now, I do have age spots that are coming up on my forehead and a place on my cheek too. And this has been, I've had them for a while. But jojoba oil is supposed to be really good for age spots, for skin spots like that. I love growing lavender, and this is English lavender. It's one of my favorites. But I also grow a hedge lavender, and it infuses oils just as good as the English lavender. And this is some of my hedge lavender. And this is the way that after drying it, and this is dried in the house for, it's been hanging here several months, and it is good and dry. But this is how I like to get my lavender, the leaves and stuff off of my stems. Some people will put it in like a brown paper bag and do it this way. I feel like I get less big stems when I do it in just a big bowl like this. So I'll get all the lavender off there, and I will keep the stems. The stems have a lot of fragrance in them. A lot of times I'll put them, I know this sounds silly, but I'll stick them in an old sock and stick the stems in my sock drawer or my pajama drawer or something like that. And it makes your clothes smell so good. So there's always a purpose for everything. Now, the one thing that you want to do when you're infusing any kind of oil, you want to use good dry herbs or lavender, whatever you're using. And my lavender is very dry. This is my jojoba oil that I get from Thrive Market. It is organic, and it comes in these small bottles, so I usually purchase a couple of them. And this is what I use for my skin. Yeah, this is from Thrive Market. Now, you can order jojoba oil online from different places, I'm sure. But if you're interested, y'all know, a lot of y'all know that I purchased a lot of stuff from Thrive Market. And I do have my Thrive Market link below in my description box. And all I'm going to do is, I've got this jelly jar. And I think I've got enough to maybe fill it halfway full. So we'll do that. I'm just going to pour it all in there. And once it's infused, I'll just keep it in this jar, or you could put it back in your bottle, whichever you want to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off the tops of this lavender. See how pretty it is, and it smells so good. I still have all the stems to it. You can even take the bottom stems, and a lot of times when I'm working with it in the winter times, this dry lavender, I'll even take the bottom stems and throw them in the fire in the wood cook stove. Or I'll put them up on in my water pot on top of the wood cook stove. I always keep a big pot of water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this lavender in my jojoba oil. How much would you put in there? I think that's up to you. I'm going to say this is a good handful. And I am going to be sticking not just the tops, but part of the stem in there. Because after it sets a while, that'll kind of fall down in there and infuse into that oil. Now once that lavender gets in there, it smells so good when you're putting that on your face. And of course lavender has a lot of good medicinal properties. It's good for your skin. It's good for your emotional needs. If you just lavender, a lot of times I put it in my infuser in my bedroom at night, and it just relaxes me. I have a pretty good sized infuser that sits by the bed, and I put my lavender essential oil in there. And it relaxes me. So there we go. That is my skin regimen right there. That's what I use on my skin in the mornings and at night. I use it on my hands, my arms, my nails. It does great on my nails. It helps my nails to grow and stay strong. So there it is. And I'll let it infuse in there for about 2 weeks, and then I will strain it, and then it's ready to use. And I just put it on the tips of my fingers, and I just put it on my face and on my neck, and it works wonderfully. So y'all been asking me for a while if I would talk about what I use on my skin, and y'all wanted to know how and what I do with my dry herbs that I dry in the house. I do the same thing with my rosemary, the same thing with my dry basil, my dry thyme, all that. And what I do is after it's good and dry, from either hanging in the house or being out in the greenhouse and drying, I'll bring it in, and I'll do my best to get the leaves off the bigger stems. There's always going to be a few stems. But I use my coffee grinder. Y'all like my jar here? I got this at a flea market. Don't that look so antique-y? I just love it. I'm going to put some herbs in it. It says spiced tea. I may put some mint in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to take my basil and oregano. I've got some oregano and some basil too. Grind up and jar up. So what you do is you just take it all out, and you're just going to take your leaves. And if you got some stems in there, you're going to take the stems too. Put your good handful in the coffee grinder. Now I think I just got this coffee grinder at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. And it does a good job. It's not expensive or nothing. It was just a Walmart brand, probably somehow. I'm not sure. You want to shake it around just a little bit. But it don't take no time to grind them herbs up. To get it, you know, if you like it really fine grind like I do. And there you go. And then you just put it in your jar, and it's ready to go. And I just continue that process till I get it all done. This is just one of the ways that I store my fresh herbs. And I use a lot of herbs in my cooking. I use a lot of herbs in different essential oils and stuff that I make. I use different herbs in some of my cleaners, my surface cleaners. And I do have an old video making homemade surface cleaner, homemade deodorant that I use. And there you go, that's what it looks like. Now, it does take a while to fill up a quart jar with ground up herbs. I mean, it doesn't take long just to put whole herbs, dried herbs in a quart jar. Now, this is another way. This is dried basil. And then I just vacuum sealed it, and it'll stay forever. And these little jars, this is how I keep my dry herbs at my stove. I keep my quart jars up on the shelf, but these, I'll get some out and put them in these little jars and keep them over there at my stove to use while I'm cooking. And this right here is my Italian seasoning. I took 2 tablespoons of my basil, 2 tablespoons of my oregano, and I think a tablespoon of my lemon thyme, and some rosemary. And I just mix it up in there, and that is my Italian seasoning. So I grew my own Italian seasoning. And there's my infused skin oil. That's my beautiful lavender. Up here on this shelf, this is just where I just store a lot of my dry herbs. And most of it is mint to make mint tea and to cook with. And this is all my aloe vera plant. It fell off, but let me tell you something. Every household needs an aloe vera plant. And most of y'all know that aloe vera is so good for so many things. So you should always have an aloe vera plant in your home, whether if you use it externally or internally. And this right here is, I've got a lot of fennel and dill that I grew and put up. Back here is some thyme and some Thai basil. Thai basil is really good in stir fries. And just some different things up there. Chamomile, ashwagandha tea. This is just how I use my jars, use them up, putting all my herbs in it. Most of this is mint. And I do have a video. Showing y'all how I make mint tea. Mint tea tastes so good, so refreshing, and it's good for you. And drinking infused mint water and mint tea is good for your complexion too. So many different herbs. I mean, they're so good for you, but they're so good for your complexion and your skin. If you've never grew fennel, I absolutely love fennel. I use it in my spaghetti sauce. I use it when I'm making fresh Italian sausage or breakfast sausage. It's got a licorice taste to it. I just love it. So, I hope that answers some of y'all's questions about, Miss Lori, what do you do with your herbs after you dry them? And that's what I do, and that's how I use them. Relaxing simplicity means less stress. And less stress means good skin and good complexion. So like us and subscribe. I hope you like this video. We'll see y'all in a couple of days with more recipes. God bless everybody. We love you, and Merry Christmas.